Ambition. It's what drives us to dream big, to push boundaries, to create change. But what if I told you it's also one of the hardest things to carry? In this video, I'm going to share with you the real costs of ambition, why they're worth it if it's done right, and a surprising truth about ambition that will change the way that you see it. So make sure you stick around until the end. I'm going to share with you 3 key ideas today. The first one is to recognize that ambition has a dual nature. You could say it's a double-edged sword. You see, ambition encourages us to drive, to innovate, to make our circumstances better, to change things in ways that make us feel like we are accomplished or accomplishing things. But it also brings with it a pressure. I've found in my life, if I spend too much time focused on my ambition, then there's a problem because I fail to live in the present. Let's think about that. I have a genuine ambition to own a really nice Porsche. And part of what drives me is the thought that one day I'll walk into a showroom and I'll drive out in my very own, very high spec, very beautiful Porsche. But if I was to let that be the only thing that drives me towards a satisfying life, I'd have a problem because obtaining that Porsche is going to take time, it's going to take work. And doing that work is going to mean that I have to spend a lot of hours, I'm going to have to work really hard, I'm going to have to give up other things. And so if I'm not enjoying the process, if all I'm focused on is the ambition, then let's say it takes a year or 2 years. I spend those 2 years being unhappy, flogging myself. And most people who are in that state of mind actually don't do a very good job, which makes it harder for them to achieve the ambition that they set out in the first place. And that's why I say it's a double-edged sword. You need to get the right balance between an appropriate ambition that drives and fuels you and not living too far in the future, forgetting to be present in what's going on in your life. The second idea is to consider the sacrifices that ambition demands. So let's think about it. You want to achieve something great. That's your ambition. And hopefully you've set your goal to just the right level that you don't currently know how to achieve your ambition, but it's not in the realms of the impossible. If that's what you've done, then you've set a really good goal for yourself, and that should fuel you and drive you towards your ambition and achieving what you want to achieve. But you have to bear in mind that in order to achieve that, there need to be sacrifices. For example, just a few years ago, I used to have a normal job, a stable job, a really good job. I had a national directorship job in the health service in the UK. But working with a coach, I realized that my ambition couldn't be fulfilled following that path. Sure, could have become a chief executive. I could have run an organization. I could have done more things on that path. But that wouldn't have fulfilled me. And so I set a course to create my own business. And I have really big ambitions for what that's going to achieve for me and my family and my friends and the people that I coach in the future. But in order to get from where I was to where I am today, and then to where I want to be, required a lot of sacrifice. For the most part, for me, those sacrifices came in these forms. I had to sacrifice security and take a risk on myself, my potential, and my ability. I had to sacrifice time because in order to create anything worthwhile, you're going to have to get up early, you're going to have to work late, you're going to have to give up your weekends. I've had to sacrifice some time doing the things that if I had more time, I would do. I don't go to the cinema very often at the moment, but here's the thing. you can reframe that sacrifice as an investment. It's not something you're losing as long as you're doing it the right way. So, have I sacrificed time? No. I've invested my time extremely carefully and deliberately, but to a large level in something that I'm passionate about. And that's my ambition. Have I sacrificed going to the cinema? Maybe. But I've dedicated that time to doing something that I also love, which is building my business and working towards my ambition. So, as long as you do this intentionally and you're clear about the sacrifices that you're making, and also perhaps the period of time over which you're going to make them, it's not a sacrifice at all. It's an investment. And that brings me to the third idea. Why is it all worth it? I have never worked as hard in my life as I have in the last 2 years. 18 months ago, when I was setting up my business, I had a period of time when my family was away for 10 days. I could have done anything with that time. I also had a holiday. But I worked more than 12 hours every single one of those days to build what I want to build. Was that hard? I worked really hard. I didn't leave the house very much, but it was an investment. That time was something that I chose to give to the thing that I love to do. And that's the point. I'd already realized by then that I genuinely love this. I am genuinely passionate about serving as many people as I can through my coaching, my programs, my newsletters, this kind of content, and so on, which means that I get fulfillment from the hard work, from the sacrifice or investment, all of that, all of the obstacles I have to overcome, every single one of them. I may not like it in the moment, but I know it's leading to my growth. Embrace the costs, embrace the sacrifices, embrace the growth that you feel when you overcome every single obstacle. You will inspire yourself and you will fuel yourself towards your ambition. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have and you like my content, it's always nice to have a subscribe or a follow. Share it with somebody that might find it meaningful or useful. I'm sure YouTube will put a video up here somewhere that relates to this one. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day. Go and get whatever it is you want. I've been Stephen. Bye-bye.